Good evening. Welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News for Tuesday, January 13th. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Here are some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. The only Chelan County highway available to reach Stevens Pass is suffering from wet soils and slow-motion landslides, and the State Department of Transportation is rushing to keep up with repairs. And a Grant County legislator says the new price of fuel for farm tractors and semi-trucks is too high. Alex Ibarra wants to reset the special fuels tax rate to its 2016 levels. Today's weather was practically spring-like, which is something of a unicorn considering it's the middle of January in north central Washington. There's little change expected the rest of this week. Dan Kuntz will act as our guest meteorologist with your full local weather details a little bit later tonight. First, our top story tonight. Jason Heinz has resigned from his seat on the Eastmont School Board in a letter that he delivered shortly before Monday night's meeting began. Heinz is facing criminal charges in both Chelan and Douglas counties, accusing him of domestic violence against family members and sexual abuse of a former partner. The case began following an assault and stalking investigation that was conducted after his daughter disclosed allegations of abuse that she said she was facing at home. Heinz was not present at the meeting and had his letter delivered by lawyer Brandon Radall to Superintendent Spencer Taylor shortly before the meeting began. Following an executive session, Taylor was asked by Board President Whitney Smith to read that letter aloud.
To the members of Eastmont School District Board of Education, it is with careful consideration that I hereby tender my resignation from the Eastmont School Board of Education, effective immediately. As you're aware, I'm currently the subject of criminal allegations concerning my personal life. These allegations are sharply contested and entirely unrelated to my service on this board or to the work of the district. I have full confidence that these matters will be resolved favorably through the appropriate legal process. Nevertheless, these accusations risk becoming a distraction from the important work we are entrusted to do for our students, families, and educators. The focus of the board must remain on advancing the quality of education and supporting the well-being of our community's children. My decision to resign is made solely to preserve the integrity of the board and to ensure that the district's governance remains focused on its statutory and fiduciary responsibilities to students, parents, faculty, and the broader community without external disruption. I extend my sincere appreciation to the board, Eastmont School District Administration, and staff for their professionalism and cooperation during my tenure. I trust that this transition will be managed in accordance with applicable policies and procedures governing board vacancies. Thank you for the privilege of serving the Eastmont community and for your understanding during this difficult time. Sincerely, Jason Heinz.
Heinz is scheduled to appear in Douglas County Court to face several of those felony charges against him on January 20th. Following Heinz's resignation, the Eastmont School District is seeking candidates to fill the seat that he leaves behind. Heinz represented Board District 3, which is bounded on the north by 15th Street Northeast, on the south by 3rd and 4th Street Southeast, and on the east by Kentucky Avenue. Applicants who live within that boundary must email the school board a brief biography, a statement of interest, and some related documents by January 26th. The school board will then rank the nominees, and the top 5 will be invited for an interview with the board on February 9th during a public meeting. The selected candidate will be announced that night and sworn into office on February 23rd. Storm damage has made Chumstick Highway a crucial route between Leavenworth and U.S. Highway 2, but even that bypass is suffering from the weather. Chelan County Public Works Director Eric Pearson says the slope of Beaver Hill above Chumstick milepost 12 is saturated with water and suffering from erosion. On Monday, the landscape began to slough downhill toward the hairpin curve near Plain. So far, the slide is only affecting the shoulder of the road. The rural county highway is the only option for travelers to bypass Highway 2 in Tumwater Canyon west of Leavenworth, which has been closed since the heavy storms that began December 10th. The State Department of Transportation is in charge of Chumstick's maintenance while it's used as a detour. And Pearson says the DOT is now assessing the slide and operating a pilot car to guide motorists around it. Travelers on Chumstick can expect longer delays as a result. The Washington Department of Natural Resources is coming to Wenatchee in February to host a listening session regarding wildfire hazard mapping. DNR is leading the development of a wildfire hazard and risk mapping initiative outlined in legislation approved in 2024. The project, which began last year, is meant to enhance wildfire preparedness by identifying at-risk areas and providing general hazard assessments. DNR will seek input from community members, local emergency managers, building code officials, and fire marshals. During the sessions, DNR will present a draft version of the statewide wildfire map, explain how it was developed, and invite public feedback. All told, there will be 16 events statewide, and the Wenatchee session will be held on February 4th at the Wenatchee Convention Center. When we come back, the Wenatchee School District is seeking enough qualified bus drivers to get its kids to classes, field trips, and sporting events. There's a way you could help out. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. With the 2026 legislative session cranking up, a Grant County lawmaker wants to roll back taxes on specialty fuels, which he says are putting a pinch on farmers and transporters. State Representative Alex Ibarra of Quincy introduced a bill this week to remove taxes that went into effect last year on diesel, biodiesel, natural gas, propane, and butane. Diesel taxes went up in 2025 by 3 cents and are due to rise by 3 cents more in 2027. Ibarra, a 13th District Republican, proposes undoing both those increases. His House Bill 2404 has been referred to the Transportation Committee for a possible hearing. The Wenatchee School District is hosting 2 casual pop-in bus driver recruitment events this month. The district is in need of additional bus operators to fill openings and ensure there are enough drivers available for the upcoming sports and field trip seasons. During the events, attendees can apply in person, meet other staff, and even test drive a bus. The district is offering $26.53 an hour for the jobs, and the training is paid. The recruitment events are set for January 15th and 27th at the district's transportation building on Millardale Avenue. An underground electrical outage on Monday brought fire crews and Chelan County PUD workers to the roundabout at Miller Avenue and Red Apple Road. The PUD says it noticed an equipment failure in an underground electrical vault at that intersection about 8:15 yesterday morning. The junction serves western neighborhoods in Wenatchee, including Cherry Street and Skyline Drive, and left more than 500 customers without power for part of the morning. The PUD says it was able to restore electricity to all households after about 3 hours. Well, coming up next, Dan Kuntz stuck his head outside, and now he believes he can speak knowledgeably about the weather in the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. You can be the judge. And Eric Granstrom follows up with all the day's sports action as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
It's time for BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 16, with your host, Mike Mitchell.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Chelan County's newly appointed coroner, Earl Crow, oversees death investigations throughout the county. He succeeds his former boss, Wayne Harris, who hired Crow as his chief deputy coroner nearly 13 years ago. Chelan County doesn't conduct its own autopsies. Instead, it holds agreements with 3 outside counties to carry out those post-mortem exams. In our recent interview, Coroner Crow told me the Chelan County Commissioners recently approved a new agreement with Benton County, paying up to $2,500 for each autopsy.
It's kind of the same agreement that we have for King County, Pierce County, and Spokane. It gives our office another avenue to be able to get autopsies. What's great in my mind is the fact in wintertime, when the passes are closed and we can't get to King County, we can get to Tri-Cities. And it's the same cases where if we need an autopsy, we can go in 4 different directions now.
So if your office is handling a case, you would be doing the initial investigation, the processing, the handling of the deceased person's remains. But those remains would then be going to Benton County sometimes for actual autopsy.
Yep, actually for the physical autopsy, yes.
And it won't happen every time?
No. No, and we do get that question a lot, because you see on TV where every case there's an autopsy, and really it's about 10% of the cases may get an autopsy.
So I know that one thing that got underway during the previous coroner's term was the development of a facility on Omi Garden Road, new county complex, and the coroner's offices are slated to have, I think your entire headquarters would be out there, is that correct?
That's correct. And we've been working on that for 2 years. It's going to be a full facility. So we'll actually have a family room that we can meet with families. We'll have a training break room. Our offices will be upstairs. We'll have a separate room specifically for records. We will have an exam room because part of our job is also doing external exams. So if we don't order an autopsy, we'll view the decedent and do a diagram. So we'll have that space available. What's great about that is if we ever had another traveling pathologist, we could actually do autopsies here again. So, and then it'll have a secure property evidence room and a toxicology as well.
And I know, having visited your offices and the other facility that you use out in the old station area, space has been a real limiting factor for the coroner's office for quite some time.
It has been. We've been working out of that small, cooler area north of town, and then having to work out of funeral homes. And not only does this help us, it actually helps the funeral homes because that'll give them their spaces back. So,
when we're talking about, not to be too blunt about it, but storage.
Yes, mm-hmm. Yes. When we have to have people in refrigeration. Yep.
And I know that some of this was necessary in part because the way the state accredits coroner's offices changed in the last couple of years.
Yes. So it became law this past July that every office in the state needs to be accredited. That's something I've been pushing for. That was part of my budget. Coroner Harris allowed me to do the budget since he wouldn't be here. And there's things I put in because we're going to have to meet accreditation. There's 285 required standards. And once we start the process, it'll probably take about 10 months to be inspected. So this whole facility will meet all of those needs for accreditation.
Well, Earl, you're serving as coroner by appointment, and it's a politically appointed position and an elected position. Will you choose to run again in 2026?
Yes, absolutely. I've already announced that and did my public disclosure forms for that, yes.
Does coroner, with all of the very technical requirements of the job, does it really make sense as an elected position? And do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it makes sense to me as an elected position for the way that the voters get to select who their coroner is. If it was solely by appointment, then you're really, you're bound by 3 commissioners only. And that could be good or that could be bad. But I think it's important to be elected. My question has always been, why is it a partisan position? Because in my mind, if my loved one was found deceased, would I care if they were Democrat or Republican? And the answer is no. I want somebody that knows how to do the job.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Dan Kuntz, normally not here at this hour of the day, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Somebody's got to do the weather, and I'm your guy. There's the Wenatchee Heights camera. Beautiful day today. This unseasonably warm weather continues. Normally, when we have high pressure in the middle of January, we're talking about air inversion, low clouds and fog. We don't see the sun. The high is 32 and the low is 30. Not the case this January. We have very warm temperatures on store for not only today, but for the rest of the week and right on into the weekend. By the way, the weekend looks fantastic, even though that ridge of high pressure that's affecting our weather is going to leave, but it's not really going to change things here in the Wenatchee Valley. So high pressure is large and in charge for the time being. 48, our unofficial high up at Paintball Memorial Airport. 33 is our normal high temperature. Yeah, it's just like it was in November and December, an unseasonably warm January. In fact, our overnight lows are going to be where our afternoon highs are supposed to be, and we're gaining about 2 minutes of daylight every day. You gotta like that. If you like the lower 40s, you're gonna love tomorrow's high temperatures all over north central Washington and out in the Columbia Basin. 40 in Moses Lake, 40 in Ephrata, 41 in Quincy. So it's gonna be considerably cooler tomorrow. And there's a specific reason for that. We're not gonna see nearly as much sunshine. The days are getting longer. We're getting more radiant heat from the sun, but not tomorrow. It's going to keep our temperatures down just a little bit. High pressure right there, baby. It is keeping anything that might even affect our weather away from us. What does that mean? Well, if high pressure is set up, whatever weather we have sticks around for a little while. In the summertime, we see highs in the upper 90s. In the wintertime, we don't normally see highs like this because before the high pressure is set up, warm air was already entrenched. Now, that ridge of high pressure is going to move, going to slide to British Columbia, but it's really not going to affect our weather a great deal. We're still going to see temperatures well above normal into the weekend. The only big difference is with the high pressure gone, we're going to see sunshine Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, mostly for the weekend. So lots of sunshine Thursday. We're talking about the lower 40s. We'll do it all over again on Friday. Overnight lows are going to be cooler, not quite where they should be. Overnight lows are usually in the mid-20s this time of the year. We'll have clear skies, which means, of course, clear skies at night without a blanket. It can get pretty chilly for the overnight lows. You'll be scraping your windshield if you're an early riser for your commutes over the weekend. But outside of that, no complaints at all. Could use a little more snow in the mountains as far as the snowpack is concerned, but that, I'm afraid, is not in the forecast at all. Look at those high temperatures, mid-40s on Thursday, on Friday. Bountiful sunshine Friday, bountiful sunshine Saturday. Going to do it all over on Sunday. Nary a chance of precipitation anywhere to be seen, including the mountain passes. It was second warmest November ever, warmest December ever. It's been an abnormally warm January. We just can't seem to, well, winter just doesn't seem to want to pay us a visit for a lot of people. They're fine with that. MLK Day on Monday, a little cloudier, perhaps a little cooler. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee. It's where comfort care and community come together. Not going to see 50 anymore for the foreseeable future, but temperatures still well above normal. Going to see some clouds and some fog, going to keep us a little bit cooler on Wednesday, but the overnight lows, look at those overnight lows. That's where we should be for the afternoon highs. Here comes the sunshine Thursday. We will see some passing clouds on Thursday as that high pressure ridge begins to move up over British Columbia. But then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, sunny, mild, no precipitation at all for north central Washington. This is more like the middle of March instead of the middle of January. At your forecast, our good buddy Eric Granstrom, who works as hard as Grant Olson's, coming up next with sports. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
The winter prep sports season is here, and NCWLIFE channel has you covered. Follow the Eastmont Wildcats and Wenatchee Panthers right here. Coverage brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, and Valley Tractor. Follow the action all winter long on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
Well, a good Tuesday to you. The Seahawks will face San Francisco for the third time this season, Saturday in the NFC Divisional Playoffs. Coach Mike Macdonald was relegated to being a fan last weekend while the wild card round played out. He said it was an odd feeling to have to sit through each game.
I told the team today, it's weird watching full games all the way through, you find yourself rooting for teams and you're like, why am I rooting for this team? This is the dumbest thing ever. And then you're 5 seconds later rooting for the other team. It's so I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we're back to, regular scheduled programming here. So
Seattle opened the season against the Niners at home, losing 17-13. The Seahawks wrapped up the season in Santa Clara against San Francisco, winning that one 13-3. Macdonald was asked what he can take from the first two meetings into Saturday's rematch.
The games against the 49ers are really in all three phases. The things that determine games in our league, it's kind of magnified in these games. So you're talking about situational football, how you take care of the ball, how you finish in the red zone. Third down is a big time, 2 minute. It's a cliche answer, but really, when the teams that have kind of won those situations, I felt like has really had the nod in terms of the outcome of the game. So, but I told the team today, it's these are the things that we've been working on for all of our opponents. So really nothing changes in terms of our process and the things that we're trying to do.
Seattle and San Francisco will kick off at Lumen Field at 5 o'clock Saturday on Fox. Seattle had to wait until last night's games to find out what time they'd play Saturday. Final wildcard playoff game had Houston erasing Pittsburgh 30-3 and what could be Aaron Rodgers' final game in his career. Divisional round begins with an AFC battle in Denver Saturday when the Broncos host Buffalo. That'll be at 1:30 on CBS. Sunday also begins with an AFC clash between the Texans and Patriots in Houston at noon on ABC and ESPN. That's followed by the Rams in Chicago against the Bears on NBC at 3:30. Well, the Kraken got off to another slow start last night in New York against the Rangers, but rallied for a 4-2 victory. Trailing 2-0 in the second, Eeli Tolvanen broke open the floodgates to help Seattle win Game 2 of a 5-game road trip.
The neutral ice from the red line. Melanson couldn't pick it up. Rangers back the other way. Panarin leads Zibanejad for a shot high. Over the glove of Grubauer. He threw it back to the net. And Grubauer inadvertently kicks it in. And the Rangers take a 1-0 lead. Far wing side. It's dropped right back off. Turning and firing. That was knocked down by Grubauer. And the Kraken swing this out to center. 2-on-1. Beniers. Right circle. Beniers delays. Shoots. That'll slide wide of the goal.
Matty looking for Kakko. But as Will Borgen on the defense did a great job of taking away the passing opportunity. Matty heads up play.
Now here's Eeli Tolvanen in a drive. And what a save by Jonathan Quick. Poked ahead for Taylor Radish. Adam Larson swings it around the yellow. Now McCann dropped it back behind him for Dunn. It was picked off. He missed the pass. Carrick fires. Carrick scores. Over to Schneider as the Rangers fresh off a change. Kraken following suit. Here's Perreault. He's stripped. Freddie Gaudreau looks in. Eeli Tolvanen. What a move. He scores. Banks it off the boards. Vince Dunn shot. Right kick save by Jonathan Quick. Behind the goal for Kakko. Kakko to the high slot. Eberle delays. Shoots. Scores. Oh, captain, my captain. Bar down. Kraken tie the game 2-2. And the last shift and a half for these two teams. Shane Wright dropping back to McCann. Pitching it into the middle. Shot right on toward the goal. That one knocked. They score! Berkeley Catton goals in back-to-back games. Ryan Lindgren sets him up, and the Seattle Kraken take a 3-2 lead. 7:54 to play in the third. 18 seconds left here in the third. Kraken offer one last change. Gavrikov to center. McCann picks his pocket toward the empty net. He scores! Hopping back into his own end. Final 5 on the clock. The Kraken saw a 10-game point streak snapped in Carolina. Looking to start one here tonight.
Coach Lane Lambert was joined by players Jordan Eberle and Berkeley Catton afterwards in extolling the virtues of sticking to the game plan.
We just had a slow start to the game. We made a couple of mistakes, but at the same time, it was an interesting first period because we had a breakaway, we had a couple 2-on-1s. It was like sort of trading chances a little bit. I thought we locked it down a lot better defensively in the last 40 minutes. I think we gave them 10 shots on goal.
Yeah, no, we obviously started a little slow down, put ourselves in hold, but we started playing, started fighting back. Obviously, like our second or like our third, like the way we finish it off, so we got to keep going.
It's crazy how it works. Some of the other games I thought I was, even better than the games I've been scoring. It's just, sometimes that's the way hockey works, and when they're going in, they're going in. But, ultimately just trying to get the good spots and get the puck off.
Seattle continues the road trip tomorrow in New Jersey at 4 o'clock. That'll be on Prime Network and Kong TV. The Wenatchee Wild are hoping a week of preparations will help shake off the melancholy of a so-so weekend in the WHL play. After 4-2 loss to Moose Jaw on Friday, Wenatchee traveled to Vancouver. Saturday fell 2-1 to the Giants. The Wild did return home Sunday and salvage the weekend with a 3-2 shootout victory over Vancouver. Now, Wenatchee will host 2 of 3 games at the Town Toyota Center coming up this weekend. Following Portland's visit on Friday, Wenatchee travels to Kamloops Saturday before coming back home on Sunday to host Seattle at 4 o'clock. Austin Drowdy was on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley earlier today. He was talking about last week, the weekend, and what's coming up. You can find that on our website if you go to full episodes on the NCWLIFE website and then click Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The Wenatchee ski cross racer has begun the 2026 season with 2 medals after skiing in Alberta last week. Jack Mitchell captured gold and bronze at the NorAm Cup race January 7th and 8th in Nakiska, Alberta. A full complement of Canada's projected Olympians competed against Mitchell. The Mission Ridge skier is now in Switzerland for 2 World Cups, 2 Europa Cups, and the Swiss National Championship. It's all in the next 10 days. Congratulations, Jack. Prep girls bowling season continued with wind down. It's continuing the wind down. There's not much left of the season. Wenatchee hosting Eisenhower earlier today at Eastmont Lanes, while Eastmont was on the road at Nob Hill Lanes in Yakima to face West Valley. Moses Lakes match with Davis also that got underway at 3 o'clock. The Minda Lanes, the location. We'll get you the results coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Prep girls basketball schedule crowded with 12 games across the region today. Quincy plays at Grandview while Ephrata visits Prosser and Lake Roosevelt hosts Cascade. Cashmere tips at Zilla at 5:45 while Omak hosts Chelan at 6 o'clock. The 6 o'clock games, that is, has Wenatchee hosting Othello. Bridgeport visits Liberty Bell. Manson hosts Brewster. Wilson Creek plays at Soap Lake. And Orville visits Entiat. Pateros plays at Moses Lake Christian tonight at 7 o'clock. Boys' schedule is just about the same with later start times. Quincy's at Grandview at 7 while Prosser hosts Ephrata. Cashmere plays at Zilla at 7:15 while Chelan visits Omak. Wenatchee plays host to Othello at 7:30 tonight while Cascades at Lake Roosevelt. Okanagan hosts Tonasket. Bridgeport is at Liberty Bell. Brewster travels to Manson. Soap Lake hosts Wilson Creek and Oroville visits Entiat. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Tuesday.
And that will do it for this Tuesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. If you miss our live coverage today of the Apple Blossom candidate speeches and the top 10 selection at 6 p.m., you can catch up with them on our Facebook page. Grant Olson will be back in this chair on Wednesday evening. Until we see you again, take care and have a great night.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.